Hey everybody, my hair's looking a little messy there. Welcome to the Connect Show. We are excited to have everybody here today. We are on episode 3, season 3. It's so exciting. I can't believe how fast we're going.
I know.
We're finishing up our month of mindset, and we're moving on to a new month next month, networking, all about networking. Kim and I love networking.
We do a lot of
networking. I've already been networking this morning already. Like it's 7 o'clock. That is hard to do though, you guys. Yeah. But I did make it there on time today. I have you say, I think that's the first time ever.
Great job. Proud of you. Proud of you. Today we have a great lineup with, I'm so sorry. I'm going to do it. Sheila Beekle, got it, and David Splitgerber, who will help you get from the 9 to 5 to living an entrepreneur life, which we all love. They're passionate about helping people find a healthier, more exciting way of doing business and life.
And the Connect Show is brought to you by Connect Media Live, where we help businesses reach one-to-many through social media, video, and web development. If you would like to convert from one-to-one and move on to one-to-many, we can help you at Connect Media Live.
We want to thank our sponsor, Expansive Workspace, where we broadcast the Connect Show live every week, Studio A5. It's a wonderful place to work. You get great coffee with fun mugs. It's on the wrong side. I just
always
think
it's
on the
logo
wrong side.
Facing out.
But I'm right-handed, and I like. So, anyways, we love being here. So.
And they have great water.
Mm-hmm.
And as always, we're happy that you come to watch the Connect Show. And if you think of a topic that we should be discussing, at the ideas at theconnectshow.com. And I do want to remind everybody that last year when we started doing the Connect Show, we were on Zoom a lot, but we are not on Zoom anymore. We live stream on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and the best place to go see us is on YouTube. So go look up the Connect Show with Jon and Tracy YouTube channel, and you can post comments in the chat and interact with us, and
we'll see them.
Yeah, we'll see them.
We'll answer you. We have something really exciting. On October 18th, we are having our Fusion event. We have the small business shower or the business shower. So you think you have a baby shower, you have a bridal shower. Well, businesses should have a business shower. Our value is $16,593 worth of services. Wow. And a laptop.
And this is our first business shower, guys. So I can just imagine where we're gonna go with this. And we do Fusion 3 times a year. So if we have a business shower at least 3 times a year, I mean,
that's a big ask.
Yeah.
We're gonna throw a party for the winner. We're gonna announce the winner on October 18th. So go to the Connect Show's website. Fill out the form, tell your friends about it. There will be press releases. It's going to be a big thing. We're ready to shower someone with some really cool stuff. What are some of the things in there? There is photography,
all sorts of digital marketing stuff, photography, coaches,
video. I have no idea what that is.
We're trying to figure out.
Producer John's just doing hand
baseball signals there. we don't know. We don't understand.
Throwing stuff in left field. I don't know, but we have some really, really great coaches
and a laptop,
videos, laptop, social media, web development.
And if you have not already done this already, go to theconnectshow.com. It's under Small Business Shower and get yourself listed to win. Or you can even nominate another business to win also. It doesn't have to be yourself. So if you know of some other business that can use all these services, just go to the website and enter in your winning, your vote to win. I don't know what else, your entry to win.
And the winner will also find out just how much we love Expansive Workspace, because Expansive is giving us 6-month lease to the winner of our small business shower. So that is really cool.
And it's pretty exciting. The Better Business Bureau's in there. Also, you get a free year of the Better Business Bureau. And
there's
so many great things in there. I can't remember all of them.
I'm jealous.
I know.
Like, I'm going to ask if I can tag around that winner and just see all the great things that are going to happen. Super excited about it.
So if you have any comments about the business shower, any questions, please put them in the chat on YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn. And
who do we have coming up for our video, John? Skipping that. The Connect Show is a volunteer show, which is it's just fine. We're just moving right along. Myself, Tracy, John, Mitch, we have a great amount, Debbie Curris, we have a great amount of volunteers that help make this show successful every single week. If you're interested in being a volunteer, email us at ideas@theconnectshow.com, and we just want to have a special thank you to everyone that helps make this show a success every single week. It's a lot of fun.
It is. And the people that you get to meet, if you're involved with the show and you really want to meet some new people, this is a great way to do it.
Yes, exactly.
What's our quote for today, Kim?
Your words control your life, your progress, your results, even your mental and physical health. You cannot talk like a failure and expect to be successful. Thank you, Germany Kent. Wow. I mean, think about it. That's pretty deep.
Yeah, and you can't talk like a failure and expect to be successful. And that's even your internal talk, which is exactly what we're going to be talking about today.
And I was like this morning, just kind of like, I got to talk myself out of this like sleepy moment. No one wants to see sleepy Kim on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. They want to see me awake. So I gotta talk myself out of that.
So what does your daily pep talk look like? Well, and anybody in the chat, if you're out there watching, what does your daily pep talk look like? I don't even know. Like, I get up and I just do the thing. I don't even know if I'm at the point that I have to pep talk myself, because I'm excited to work on my business, in my business, for my business. It's exciting to me. And I'm just a year into officially like not being in corporate America. So that was when I needed the pep talk. Like, oh God, I got to get up. I got to go drive an hour, miss everything for the kids and the family and all that stuff at home. So that required quite a pep talk to me. Right now, it's the excitement of it. The pep talk comes for me when I'm kind of just like, oh, I've got so much going on. I don't know where to start. That's when I need the pep talk. Yes, I agree with that.
Or sometimes the walk away moment.
Just walk away and come back in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or even an hour.
Yeah. It's maybe not even a pep talk. It's okay, go clear your head, go walk, come back and face your realities. How about you? What's your pep talk like?
I do the same thing for the overwhelmment one, but then there's also hiccups that happen throughout the day where maybe a client is having a bad day and they're taking it out on you, or a bunch of things just don't go right, or you failed to meet your deadlines on things you wanted to get done. Then I really need, because I've got stuff going on in my head going, God, you should have been better. You could have been faster. You should have said this, or you should have just said that. All the shooting.
Don't shout on yourself.
Thank
you, Sarah Deacon. Don't shout on yourself.
So then I have to take a step back and say to myself, you're doing the best that you can. We're just going to figure out ways to, learn skills so it doesn't happen again next time, and or get better so it doesn't happen as much next time.
I think one thing I try to do is not maybe focus so much on what went wrong. Of course, at first you focus on what went wrong and, oh, I could have done that better. But then maybe take a minute and look at what went right. Like that, accept the responsibility for what I did. That was the mistake. But then look at the good things that came out of it too. There's got to be something.
You have done that when we've had conversations in the past where there's been something that's happened that was between a mutual client where all of a sudden there was an upset. And then you're asking me all these questions going, okay, so what was your part in everything? And then, well, what was all the stuff that we did right? And just kind of the list of what we didn't do right was so much shorter than the list of all the stuff we did right. And then it puts it all in perspective.
It helps you move along with the problem, right? Because you can't just, what kind of mood are you going to be in if you just focus on the negative all the time? Like, oh, this went wrong, or oh, this isn't going to go right, or oh, this person's going to fire me, or what did you do right for them? And then that might help you with your conversation with them later too, because you can help bring to light some of the great things that have happened if it does go a little sour.
Right. And then like you're saying, it's not it will raise, you go back up that spiral that we learned last week.
Spiral last week was great.
So you go back up the spiral.
Yes. How's that chat looking, John? Anything
any
going
comments?
on?
No,
We got
come on,
it.
you guys, get out there and make some comments. I know this is a tough topic though. Who wants to put in the chat their bad?
Let's bring on some positive pep talk. It doesn't have to be
what
negative.
do you do?
Okay, so
Awesome.
up next we have a moment from Erin. So take it.
Said we should rally around small businesses and give them a business shower. Therefore, the Connect Show has come up with a business shower collecting over $12K in resources, and I'm one of the sponsors. So if you're looking for a graphic design with either a brochure or flyer to get your business up and running, I got you covered. Nominate someone today. This is over $12K of resources for a small business. So let's support them. The link is below. This is a really great opportunity.
Lower a little bit. I don't know.
Oh, we're back already. That was so fast,
already.
Erin.
That was super fast. Thank you, Erin.
Welcome, Dave, to the show.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Dave has a diverse industry background, including shipping, logistics. Is that how you say that word? Logistics.
You got it.
Retail, merchandising, marketing, and most recently the pharmaceutical industry, in which he specializes in consulting with hospitals and hospital systems on developing disease state protocols and pathways.
Dave has won numerous awards throughout his career and is most proud of his nomination for a Corporate Integrity Award and the inaugural winner of a Living Our Values Every Day Award. I like that. He's married and has 2 amazing boys and coaches them both in multiple sports.
So welcome again to the show.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate
So
it.
the question of the day, your self-talk. How do you handle your self-talk?
Ooh.
If it's going down the wrong way. What are you doing to pull yourself out of that?
Honestly, there is a lot of self-doubt, negative talk, and I start out my morning every morning early, and I go for a run, and I listen to podcasts, and that really helps change the mindset.
Yeah.
Because it's forcing me to think positively, forcing me to think about things I don't allow myself to think about sometimes, and new ways to approach things. And lately it's been a lot on the mindset, specifically, funny enough, on how are you thinking about things? How do you break through that and forcing yourself when you have that 2 a.m. time of you wake up and you're like, oh, crap. What did I do? What's going on? I got to get this done.
I have a lot of that. I have a lot of that. You need to shut off right now. I'm done with you. I need sleep.
Yes. So it's trying to find that breakthrough and telling yourself, recognizing it first, and then taking it from there and saying, okay, this is what happened. What can you change? What can you do differently? And right now at 2 a.m. is not the time to deal with this.
No.
So put it away. You can deal with it at 5:36 or 8 or
It'll
10
be
in the
there in a
morning.
couple hours.
Right.
It will.
Right.
Still a
It's not going
challenge.
away. It is
Yeah.
a challenge, yeah.
But yeah, I think podcast has been the main source for me to really help break through that, because on my own at times you can go into that spiral on your own, and that didn't go right, and that didn't go as I planned, and I'm not at target where I want to be here with this, and how do I get there? So the negative self-talk is something that I think we all deal with, and it's helping yourself to find a way through that, because you can't just rely on others to do that. You have to find the ways internally, or it's having to then rely on someone else for that. You can't always.
Right. Yeah. And I found that sometimes there are days when I'm really needing to listen to other things other than anytime I have any downtime, I'm putting in a podcast or something, because I know that my head's not in a good place that day. And so I just keep pumping it in with other stuff just so it's clear.
Yeah.
So you're with the Entrepreneur Source. Aren't all franchise food restaurants like Subway and McDonald's? Explain to us how the franchises work.
So that's a question I get a lot when I first talk with individuals, to explain that I work with individuals to help them explore business ownership. My specialty, and as an organization, is to explore the Owners Alliance and franchise end of things. And the first comment I typically get is, well, no, I'm not really interested in franchises. I don't want to be in a restaurant, and, the whole food industry, that's just not where I want to be. Well, did you know that there's 40, 50, 60 different business industries inside of that? So anything from automotive to consulting businesses to senior care to children's products and services, light manufacturing. So, it's very wide ranging. And once people realize wow, there is something else out there besides just food, because that's all you really hear
Yeah.
when you think about franchises, those large ones that advertise monumentally. And it's not the other ones that are out there that are business to business that you may not hear of, or that are business to consumer, but aren't a household name because it's not a product that you would need to or want to typically advertise on a national basis.
Or need every day, or
Yeah.
interesting. So how are you different than a business broker?
Good question. So a business broker, and I should say nothing wrong with business brokers, it's just a different approach. And that's actually how and why we were formed. Was the founder of our company was a business broker. And a business broker by definition is hired by a company to sell their company on their behalf. So logically, they're kind of looking out for the best interest of said company.
Right.
So as the founder, he said, yeah, back then companies would come to our bosses, they'd talk with them, contract them, put them on a contract or whatever, hand them to the brokers, and they get on the phones and say, all right, now you're on the phones, cold call people, and you have 5 minutes when you talk to someone to figure out if they're ready to buy a business or not. So my first question logically was, well, could you even really be successful in 5 minutes?
Right.
And he said, actually, funny enough, yes. But what changed his mindset and why we were formed was, he said over time, he saw consistency in people calling back saying, well, you talked to me a week ago, you talked to me 3 years ago. I'm kind of curious, but I don't even know where to start. Should I do this? Could I do this? What would I do? How would I do it? Am I even right for this? I don't even know if I could be or should be a business owner. Can you help me with that? He said, all we could say is, no, that's not what we do. So that's how we were formed, was to be that resource for the individual. I mean, yes, you can go get an MBA. You can go to the library and read all kinds of books on entrepreneurship and business. And is that right for me? All right, start figuring out what are the things I know and don't know. But ultimately, there's no one that you can really kind of have that conversation with and have a discussion and really learn about it. So that's the big difference, is we're there and I'm here to support the individual from their perspective and what they're looking to accomplish, and not trying to put the square peg in the round hole. Here's what's available. This would be great for you.
Yeah.
Well, is it really? Or is it just that I'm trying to make a dollar?
Right.
But again, from the broker's perspective, there's a lot of people that know exactly what they want to do. I want to be in this industry and I want to do this. Okay, great. Maybe I have things that I can help you with as a business broker that are in my portfolio. But most people aren't typically in that mindset. So someone that's changing careers, saying, should I explore this or could I do this? I've been downsized, right-sized, whatever you want to call it, capsized, right? All the different terms that are out there.
Yeah.
Is this really the right avenue? What should I do? Should I get into another job? Should I go into business? But what would I do? I've got career experience in a certain area. Would this fit?
So I'm assuming then you must ask them a bunch of different questions about like how, what their interests are, what skills do they have, and then you kind of do a little bit more of the coaching route of trying to figure out, what might be out of all the things that you know of that's out there that they don't know that's out there, what could be the best fit for them, and offer those ideas to them and let them kind of play around with it in their head a little bit.
Exactly right. So it really starts out with, again, kind of the difference starts from there. It's, let's understand you. Let's understand your career. So we break things down. So it's multiple discussions, different assessments and questionnaires I have people complete. And then we discuss the results. So I always laugh and say, so it's not like when you interview for a job or apply for a job and they say, all right, we want you to complete this assessment. Okay, great. So you complete it, fill it out, submit. You wait to hear, and finally hear something back and they say, thank you very much for your submission. We're going in a different direction. What did I do right or wrong on the assessment?
Right.
You don't know. Where everything that I have anybody complete, we're discussing together. Here's what your results are. Here's what things look like. So work style. What's your work style? What's your leadership style? How do you deal with problems and change in the workplace? What are your goals for your future? So we'll talk about what are your goals that you want to accomplish? What are your needs? What do you need to have happen for your future? What are your expectations of what you want things to look like? What are your income goals? What's your work-life balance look like in the past? You want to build wealth and equity above and beyond what you have. So it's really helping someone see and understand themselves first. So it's a lot about, this is me, and this is my career. What are my different skill sets? What are the different responsibilities that I've had in my career? What are my strengths? What are the things that I like doing? And that's a specific question, different than your strengths. You may have had things in your career that have been strengths. An example for me, years back in a previous job, was I got recognized at an event by my boss saying, congratulations, David. We want to recognize you for one of your strengths. One of your strengths being your attention to detail, your expense reports and budgets, phenomenal. They're early. I don't even really have to look at them anymore because they're just so accurate. And I'm thinking, stick a needle in my eye. I hate that stuff.
I don't want to be known for that. Shh, quiet.
Exactly. So while it was perceived to be a strength, and it was because I knew I just needed to do it, and I wanted to get it off my table, off my plate, I didn't really like it. So sometimes some things that can be seen as strengths aren't things you like doing.
You don't find joy in it. It's
Yeah.
duty. You're just doing it.
So that's the goal. Let's find what your strengths are, where that crosses over with your likes. And another question that I ask is, what are the things you dislike that you don't like doing? Maybe we can minimize that. You can't maybe necessarily eliminate it, but maybe we can minimize that. So the goal being is to help that person find themselves. This is me in my career and what I've done and what I like, and then going to the goal side of things. What are you trying to accomplish? And it actually ties into what you guys were touching on earlier. One of the questions I'll ask is, looking at your life a year from now, what would you like to start making progress in personally and professionally? What does that look like? And some people I've had say, yeah, that was an easy question.
Never even thought about it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And some people have. But many people say that was a really hard question for being an easy question.
Yeah.
Because you actually have to think about yourself.
And it's so overwhelming to consider. If you want to have a business, you don't know what. That's such an overwhelming feeling. I lived in that world for a while. I've looked into franchises actually, and not food franchises, but it would have been amazing 10 years ago to know, like, there's someone out here to help for that. And I don't know, but I really think that there's a need. I know I'm not the only person in the world that has ever felt that.
Exactly.
And
that's what I hear a lot of. I don't know what I don't know. Where would I go? What would I do? What makes sense? I've done this in my career. This has been my lane. I always just use IT as a simple example. I've been in IT my entire career. I have to stay in IT because that's what I know.
Right.
And what kind of the misconception is, well, I couldn't be in anything else. And that's where a franchise can be helpful for an individual, because by definition, a franchise is the replication of processes, products, the different systems, marketing, advertising, so that you're not having to recreate it. So in essence, on the initial phases of it, it's like a job that you get full training, and you get ongoing support and training throughout the lifetime of you being a franchisee owner.
a lot of the hard work is already done. The branding, we talk a lot about branding, and
exactly
some
right.
people really struggle with that, and the standard procedures and everything.
Exactly. So it allows someone to circle it back to the things we've talked about. What are your transferable skills? What are the things you like doing? What are the things you don't like doing? And from there, then I can, after we've had all these discussions and gone through these different assessments, then I can do research and find things. And the approach I tell people I take is, I'm like a librarian. Like, what? Not a librarian. Like, exactly.
I got a lot of books.
And that's kind of the similarity, right? The analogy is, if you go to a library, you can walk around and browse, and you might find what you're looking for. But you're probably going to look in the areas you've looked before because it's familiarity.
Mm-hmm.
But what are you missing? What's out there that you don't know that's out there that may not be out there? So another way to take that is, what if I talk to the librarian and have a conversation, and you have a discussion back and forth, and they start getting some understanding of who you are? Now they can make suggestions and say, based on the things we've talked about, again, these are suggestions. I'm not saying this is the answer, but this is going to help lead us in the right direction because it's now feedback. I'm not telling you, you have to read this book cover to cover. This is, read a couple chapters.
Here's the clip notes.
What do you think as you start reading about the first couple chapters of this quote unquote book? Do you like it? Do you not like it? What are you finding? And if you don't like it, the librarian doesn't get upset and say, you know what, book A, I really like, I want to keep reading.
Right.
Book B, It's kind of boring to
Not
start.
for me. Not for me.
And book C, you're like, that sucked. I hated it. I could hardly get through the first chapter. You know what? That's okay. You know more about yourself, and I know more about yourself. Now we can make adjustments and changes based on that to see where we go next, to adjust where we're going to look. But now we have more information. So it's feedback based on the individual that helps them. So I'm coaching them through that learning and allowing themselves to explore and learn other things and see other things with an open mind. They're not putting any pressure on themselves. They're not making any decisions, i.e. a library. You're just picking some books up and learning and exploring. What do you find? Do you like it? Do you not like it? We can go in a different direction. But it's the feedback that's based on that. And related to that, then people say, well, what's the hot franchise? And the first thing I tell them, well, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna burst your balloon. There is no such thing. In reality, yes, there kind of is, but in how I'll explain. So what I mean by that is, are there industries that are really in growth mode right now? Absolutely. But it goes back to you. If it's in something where we're not utilizing your skill sets and the things you like doing and your strengths, if you go to a job and you have that doesn't really make for a great day or a great week. Kind of sucks. But if it's in your business that you're having to do these things every day, where you get up every morning, you're like, oh, I've got to do this. I've got to go do that. That's hell.
Yeah.
So the goal is to find things that align with you, that you look forward to getting up every day. So let's explore these areas to help you see what's out there beyond where you think you can go.
Awesome. So does what you just talked about, is that generally the process that you take everybody through?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really about helping them see beyond their boundaries, and that's part of the coaching of it too, is that we all, like I said, we get stuck in our mindset. This is where I have to be. This is what I have to do, or I couldn't do that. Well, why? Why not? Let's help you learn and explore things. No pressure. There's no commitments. There's no obligations. There's no fee for what I do when I'm working with an individual. So I get paid on the backside like a referral fee. But again, there's no contracts or obligations I have. So we wanted to make it that there was no hidden agenda from my side, that I'm here to help you, but you can learn and explore from where you see that makes the most sense for you.
I love it. It looks like a question Jonathan's been put up for us. How long do you stay with the client after they purchase their franchise?
Good question. I tell people I'm kind of like your parent. But in a good way.
He's there forever.
Right?
Exactly.
How long are you staying around?
Exactly, but call that in the sense of a good parent.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is, early on, I'm helping you crawl. And I'm holding your hand when you're starting to crawl and when you're starting to walk. And as you're learning more about things, I'm helping you through that whole learning process and supporting you through that entire process. As you go further and further along, when you get to the point of, call it then now being in business, I'm still there. So as they're preparing for and figuring, well, how do I figure out funding? How do I figure out what I'm going to do next? And what's the training look like? And how do I put those pieces together? And how am I going to open my doors? I'm making sure they're getting the information they need once their doors are open, whether that's virtual, again, so don't think that all franchises are, something where we have to have brick and mortar. There's many virtual or, home-based office opportunities. Exactly. And that's a thought for a lot of people. So from there, it's, all right, let's get your doors open. And I want to get feedback, how your training was, how your support is going with this particular franchise. That gives me more information from my end to help support other individuals down the road too.
Absolutely.
And then I tell them, I said, now you're at that point of being an adult and you're out on your own. You don't need me or want me there every day saying, I'm going to call you and talk to you. You've got life to live. You've got your business to run. But I'm there when you need me. So let's just figure out a timeline. Let's talk every, after they're in business, let's talk in a month. Let's get that first initial month. Now let's talk in 3 months. See how you're doing. And then let's talk and figure out when we talk at 3 months, do we want to talk in 6 months? Do we want to talk in a year? But let's talk again typically every year. You need to run your business. I need to let you run your life. But obviously, if at any point you want to call or email me and talk, I'm here. I'm here to be supportive.
Go out to dinner,
Exactly.
together with the family.
Right.
Because I'm sure at some point
Yep.
you grow into a lot of friendships with your clients.
Exactly right. But I won't change any diapers long.
No changing any diapers. Good to know, guys. Just a heads up there.
Not a nanny, parent. Thanks so much for joining us today, Dave. Do you have an offer or anything you'd like to share with our audience?
I do. I have a book that we put together as coaches, and I'll offer a free copy to whomever would like a copy. So however your contest goes, let me know.
We have a page on our website for you, theconnectshow.com/David Splitzgerber. Splitzgerber.
You got it.
Do it today.
You was so good.
I almost made it the whole thing.
It's all good.
But definitely check out our website. Thank you so much for that offer. That is fabulous. We will connect and figure out how to make all that happen
Yes.
after the show.
And we'll let you know who the lucky winner of the book is.
Yes,
Excellent. Appreciate
absolutely.
it. Thank you guys very much for your time.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Up next, we have a video from Rajiv. Take it away, Rajiv.
Rajiv.
Thanks, Jon and Tracy. Here's your Reputation Minute. Today we'll be talking about what would you like to be known for? What does this mean, and what does this have to do with your reputation? It's very important for you to stop and think as to what you'd like people that you meet, your customers, your friends, your clients, your partners, your collaborators, as to what they're thinking of you, because what they're thinking of you is going to influence your future interactions with them, but it also will influence what they're saying about you when they're speaking to other people. It's very important for you to be conscious and cognizant about this. You can't go by just what people say at face value. You should ask them in a candid, friendly way what they think about you on an ongoing basis, because if you encourage feedback, they will give it to you, and it will allow you to course correct, even if you've had a misstep now and again. Course correcting is something that creates a lot of value in people's minds. It tells people that you accept feedback, you can change, you can course correct, and you're always looking for self-improvement. This is something that is extremely invaluable when it comes to your personal brand and your personal reputation. People really like to work with people that are good to work with, easy to work with, are easy to speak to, and can take good feedback. Well, that was your Reputation Minute. Back to you, Jon and Tracy.
Have a conversation with us.
That was great, Rajiv.
Thank you, Rajiv. Once
always-
again,
Always good tips.
yeah. Reputation management. He knows what's up.
He does.
We're going to bring up the small business shower again.
She
We're just going to keep promoting
she
it.
just loves the dollar amounts with the
$16,593 in services and a laptop. And we're really excited. Make sure connectshow.com.
We are getting in behind the scenes. We're getting our fusion event all lined up. It's from 9 to 12 here at Expansive on October 18th. And we're going to have about 8, 9, 10, 11 presenters that day.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope everybody can make some room in their schedule to come visit us. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
We're flipping the script a little bit. This one will also be on Zoom.
Yes.
The fusion will also be on Zoom. So we like to keep you guys on your toes. So
Mhm.
you can be in person, on Zoom, whatever.
Yep. So you can still see
We have
it.
Sheila here.
Yes.
Welcome, Sheila.
I am thrilled to be here. Thank you for inviting me. It's a real privilege.
Absolutely. Sheila is a certified professional coach with a deep interest in helping people understand the role they play in their communities and their networks. She coaches clients to move past their roadblocks and onto what they are most passionate about.
Her career includes a background in industrial sales, higher education, and outplacement. She gets excited about connecting the dots in her networks and applying and sharing her continuous learning. I get excited about that stuff too.
Right? Did you see her eyes just light up? She was
I like connecting the dots.
right.
I do too.
Yeah, it is a great feeling when all this work you put into something, all of a sudden it just
Ooh,
it was like better than you ever expected.
Yeah.
And that's what you use for pep talks in the morning.
Oh,
That's for your
Speaking of
question.
pep talks,
Speaking of
ready
pep
Yes.
talks,
for you.
That
I was just
was
gonna
that's the
segue
question
right
for
into
you.
that.
Yes.
Do you know my thing? I'm not a caffeine person. I get up and drink water. I don't know.
Good
so
job.
good.
No,
so
that's
good.
not good. I just don't like the taste that much.
No, but that's okay. You're supposed to do all this water like before first thing.
Yeah. I've been getting better at it. I've got 100 days to do it.
Oh my goodness.
It's a challenge.
Affirmations are what work for me, and it's not grammatically correct, but I'll look in the mirror and say, "You got this." So I don't tell my mom I say it because she's an English teacher, and she would say, "That's not right." But you got this.
Say it to
So-
yourself how you want. Who cares, right?
It's me in front of my mirror,
Exactly.
and I think it's good. It works.
If it works, keep doing it.
You bet.
I mean, it doesn't matter how weird it is. As long as you're not hurting anybody, it works.
Weird is underrated.
You got this and water. I love it. I love it. Well, I mean, it's something. I just have to pep talk my way through the moments that happen. It's not. It's not a morning thing. It's just not. So we are going to talk about imposter syndrome. What is that? Can you give us some examples?
Well, I was first contacted by Tracy when she said, we're going to work on this month about mindset. And I said, well, I've been working on this talk about imposter syndrome. And the first question people usually ask me is that like fake it till you make it? And it's not. It is not the same thing. Imposter syndrome is you're totally well qualified. You should be playing with the big guys. You should be in the mix. You are part of that. But for whatever reason, you are telling yourself you shouldn't be there. So in essence, you show up small. You show up and let people know that you're not qualified. So what it is the stories that you tell in your head, your mindset is not accurate. And it's not a deliberate thing, and it is fixable. Sometimes your stories are just old. You've gotten some training and now your stories are old and you're qualified when you weren't before. And so you're showing up. And let me give you an example. Jon, I sent you some pictures. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to show up on the screen. No, we're not going to be able to show the pictures. One of my favorite things, I started playing guitar when I was 6.
Oh, cool.
So there's this cute picture of me in a nightgown holding this little bitty 3/4 size guitar. If you can imagine, I'm sitting on the couch and looking very earnest.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. When I got to a significant birthday, we're not going to say which one, but it had several decades in it, I said, I'm going to buy myself an electric guitar. And guess what? I'm going to start a band. I'm going to start a band. Not only that, I'm going to play with this band at this significant birthday. And I did. But you know what? The funny thing was I hadn't updated the story in my head. I kept saying, well, I'm playing with a band. I'm a guitarist. And I didn't call myself a band member for probably about a year until I faced myself in the mirror when I was saying, you got this.
Yeah.
I said, you're a band member because you're in a band and you're playing guitar in a band. So sometimes it's just as simple as updating the stories in your head, and it's very fixable. So let me give you another example. Do you know that while it became popular during COVID, just because of the gig economy, there were so many people starting their own businesses, and there still are. It became popular because people had brought their experience from corporate America. They brought it to their own business, and all of a sudden their stories had changed and they hadn't updated their stories in their head. This was actually from the late 70s. It was a doctoral thesis. A woman was trying to figure out why women who were graduating with master's degrees felt like they didn't belong in the corporate world. Now, we know that there's other factors there, but they really did belong. So they said, well, what the heck? She named it imposter phenomenon at the time. And over the years, it's morphed into imposter syndrome. There's no medical diagnosis. There's nothing. So it really should be called imposter phenomenon. It's a phenomenon. It's in your head. So it's something that's fixable. It's been featured on all kind of things during COVID. It's been in the New York Times. And I'm hoping people will look at it and say, it's not fake it till you make it. Because if you're faking it, that means you're lying. You're not qualified. Right. Imposter phenomenon is about you're qualified. You just need to change the stories in your head.
I like that approach to it. I mean, I've heard a lot about imposter syndrome, especially probably over the last year or so, on LinkedIn especially. I see a lot of it on LinkedIn and a lot of people trying to teach people out of it, I guess, but I guess I didn't understand it in the same way until you just explained that. Like, I think that's a really good way to look at it. You get out of your head.
You just
get out of your head.
Well, get out of your head, but it's a very fixable thing.
Yes.
You need to know about it because it's fixable.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's fixable, it's something that you need to do for yourself. The funny thing is, it's not something that anybody can do for you. So
Right.
you need to figure out, you need to be in your head to figure out what the stories are. You check with people outside, say, are these accurate?
Mm.
And then you say, well, do I need to change it or do I not need to change it? Am I showing up authentically?
So how does the person know that they're having this, I want to say,
Imposter syndrome.
Imposter phenomenon.
phenomenon? Yeah. How do they know that they have it?
How do they know that they have it? One easy way is if you find yourself backing away from challenges, if you find yourself really focusing on the things you're doing wrong, instead of putting them in perspective and say, wow, I had this failure or this bump in the road. What did I learn from it?
Mhm.
If you find yourself dwelling too much on the negative and filling your head with the negative stories, instead of saying, wow, these are the things I'm doing right, you probably have imposter phenomenon. And I hate to label it that way. I'm not a huge believer in labeling it like that. What I'd really like to say is what it just means is you need to change the story in your head.
Mm-hmm.
And does that correlate to people's, maybe their confidence levels or their security with what they're doing, or their, how they feel about their skill sets at that time? I mean, there's a lot that I think goes into that.
That's a fair question. And there is a lot that goes into that. It's partially confidence. And I don't want to diminish that at all. But what really needs to be is, it could be that you just haven't updated your story. You just forgot.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're in a new place, so you don't see yourself the way other people see you.
Oh.
So it can be confidence. I'm not saying it's not, but you need to find out for yourself. And one of the best ways to do that, doesn't everybody have that best friend, or they have a mentor at work? That's something that really works as well. A mentor say, how am I showing up? Well, how do you see me? Is that the same?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, you need to feel that confidence. You'll feel more confident once you have an accurate story. But I wouldn't necessarily say, well, it's confidence, and then all of a sudden you feel taken down, and that's not it.
Mm-hmm.
If you approach it positively and say, are my stories accurate? So
I definitely feel like when I first started out, I definitely suffered from the phenomenon a little bit.
Mhm.
But some people that kind of helped pull me out was my network. Like, I love networking. Tracy and I talked about that earlier this morning, but they're like, no, Kim, you're fine with this, that, or the other. Like, you're doing great. And then I realized, well, like you said, my story has changed. I'm not this brand new person. I mean, I've been doing this for many years, but I never gave it the label of a business, right?
You really are that guitarist in the band, right? You really are, because you're doing that in a band. You're a band member.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's real. You didn't make this up in your head. It's real. It's really happening. So accept it and love it. You know?
Yeah. Self-talk again.
Yeah.
I'm going to add another example. So obviously this was my personal story, but I have a story from a friend. During COVID, or actually a little bit before COVID, she pivoted, as so many of us did during COVID or right before. She said, I think I want to be a nurse. And she was in sales before that. So somebody who's later in life and coming out of school, having her degree, as qualified as any mid-20-year-old who had just come straight from school with no life experience, she showed up at the hospital. She's got her first shifts, and she said, oh my God, I'm an imposter. I'm not who's trusting me with this? I don't know what I'm doing. But then she found out all the life experience she had brought, raising her own children, all the life experience she had that the 20-somethings didn't have. All of a sudden, she realized, she changed the story in her head, and she's a rock star. She was mentoring the 20-year-olds, the 20-somethings, because she had what they didn't have. She had experience.
So she knew deep down that she was going to be very qualified for doing this, and she really wanted to do it. And she felt very driven. And then she got into it, and then it was almost like she was second guessing, like, why would I do this to myself? I shouldn't even be here. And then you sit down and you look at what drove you there to begin with, and then, like you said, just accept it. Like, this is where you're going in life. This is
happening.
This
people.
is where you're going.
Yeah, this is happening.
So it took somebody taking a look at her and just saying, you have a degree. You have what all the other nurses have, and you have more than the 20-somethings. So what you can do to combat this, obviously you can go to your mentor, you can go to your network, as you said, but really you can do some self-assessment. You'll know if you're showing up too small, if you're making yourself, and it might even be a physical thing. Are you showing up like this? Are you staying on the outskirts, on the sidelines when people are offering big projects and you're saying, well, no, I'm not ready yet? What you can do is say, well, what do people in this industry have? Do they have a degree? Do they have experience? Do I have all those things? So once you start taking a look at yourself and you know what you should have, you're going to start to feel more confident. Those stories are going to start to change in your head. That's why it's not about faking it till you make it. It's not a lie. It's not deliberate. It's really just an updating. It's a lot of, or some of, how other people see you is how you should see yourself. And it's not about being a liar. It's not being fake at all. It's about being realistic. It's about showing up as you are.
Do a self-check-in.
Yeah, I think
like
this
that.
is interesting because this is really tying into what David was just talking about with his coaching, where it's like all on the same alignment there.
We planned ahead of time. No, it is about mindset. Here you're going to switch to a franchise and you're bringing this life experience. You need to rewrite the stories in your head. You honestly need to say, I've got this experience. I've got what the other people have. They're already franchisees. I already have this experience. I can do this. Write the story in your head. Change it. Stop being an imposter. Show up who you are. Show up bigger. Show up as an owner.
Okay, so I have a quick question on this. As small business owners, we tend to, if you're really striving to build your business, so there's a lot of different things you have to learn, and you change your skill sets, and you're constantly like going like this in your life, bouncing back and forth. And how do you keep up with that?
Ooh, that's a great
How do you possibly keep up with all of the new things that you've just taken on or you're doing or?
Oh, that's a great question. Do you know that there's actually been research about this? So actually, if you look up in the journals, you'll see that there's research on imposter phenomenon, they called it, but now that's kind of morphed to imposter syndrome. The good thing about it is that it actually, if you're staying aware of it and you're staying on top of it, it motivates you to go out and get the experience that you need. You actually understand where you are and you understand where you're going. So when your things are accurate, you're saying, okay, wow, now I'm a nurse. I'd really like to go in the pediatric unit. So I'm going to get some experience there. I'm going to go to these seminars. I'm going to get the certifications I need for this. It gives you a way to look forward. So that's what I love about this. It's all about how you show up, and it's completely positive. Even though some people think, oh, it's an imposter, and being an imposter is about lying.
When you first hear it.
And that's
Yeah.
why
really
I'm not.
does.
That's why I'm not.
Really
a fan
does.
of the phrase.
Yeah.
So it's totally motivational. It's been researched. There's a lot to say about it.
Yeah, the word of imposter is not positive. The word syndrome is
Not
never
positive.
looked at as positive. So how are you going to take anything positive out of that phrase? Absolutely.
We should probably get together and rename it.
I think
I
so.
think so. We'll create a movement.
We're going to make it happen.
We're going to just
start with
realign our
LinkedIn.
stories, and we're going to become movement people.
Right. So how do you tame the imposter phenomenon? Do you have like any specific tips or?
I have some really easy ones. Now, we mentioned a couple already. We said that you should talk to your mentors, you should talk to your network, but some other things are just really basic. Okay, if you're a nurse, you need these certifications. Do you have them? Yes, you do. Another thing you can do are what we talked about before, affirmations. I am certified to be here. I'm qualified to be here. I need to be here. I'm in the right space. Giving yourself affirmations. So taming that quiet spot, that staying in a positive mindset, what we're talking about today, is all about choosing the stories in your head. So that is the biggest thing I can have as a takeaway. And actually, that's part of my giveaway. I don't know if we're supposed to go there yet.
We're going there.
We're going there?
Let's go there. Let's go there.
So,
giveaway.
so a giveaway, anyone who wants to email me, and I know that my contact information will be on the Connect Show website.
Absolutely.
Reach out to me. There's my
John's putting it up on the screen right now. There
Thanks,
we
John.
go.
So there's a website. I will send out to you if you send a note to my email and put on the subject, put imposter syndrome or imposter phenomenon. I had to look out how to spell that. I always
That is
forget.
a tough one.
There's E's and O's in there.
Yeah.
I will send you a sheet, a checklist. It has how you can tame imposter syndrome. I think I put imposter phenomenon on there. So, and I will send that to you. You can check that off, and it's easy. It's something you can post. It can remind yourself daily. Put it on your mirror in the bathroom, wherever you do your affirmations, to remind you to check the stories in your head. Make sure they're positive. Make sure they're accurate.
Wow.
I love this conversation today.
Mhm.
I really absolutely did. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah,
What a
thank you
great
so
giveaway. It's there to help, which
Absolutely.
is something that I really love to see. So so yeah, so we don't forget to visit our website. Excuse my voice.
She's getting a
Still
little
on the
froggy.
screen. And we appreciate having you today, Sheila.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you
Great.
for having me.
Great. Once again, we have a weekly networking event. We talk about our network all the time.
This has all to do with this topic today.
We have a mastermind event every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Central. That is on Zoom. We set goals. We hold each other accountable for these goals.
I'll have you
And-
know, I have met my goal this week.
Way
I
to
did not
go.
meet it the last 2 weeks.
Way to go.
And I made it happen this week.
I'm going to hide under the table this week because I haven't even touched my goal. Not going to lie, but we hold each other accountable.
We do.
So then
Mhm.
when we show up every Friday morning, so Tracy, how'd you do with your goal? And we get all excited for Tracy because she's going to get it, and John and Kim, and we have a great group of people, and everyone's welcome.
Mhm.
And the first week that you come, you'll just set the goal with us. So
And then
a
you'll
lot of fun.
just set your goal for the week, and on Friday you'll come in again and say, did you meet your goal or not meet your goal?
Mhm.
And then if there's time that permits, we talk about a subject that can, like we talked about last week, was 100-day goal, which now I have water is my 100 water first thing in the morning is my 100-day goal.
And I'm working towards educating myself
Right.
in all different things. So 100, I want to get to 100 hours of education by the end of the year. As of that,
love
yes,
that.
yes.
Love that.
I want to just get it. It excites me to learn about new stuff. I'm a dork.
Mhm.
Dorks rule the world.
Yes, that's
Yes.
right.
Nerds
It's okay to
do.
be weird and a dork, and it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
And we want to thank everybody for helping us today. Sandra, our beauty consultant, and everybody else behind the scenes who helps everything go. So because this is all a volunteer effort, guys. So if you want to be involved in helping us with the Connect Show, please reach out to us. And next week we have Nick Christensen and Milena DeLugi as we move into our first show of October,
Yes.
October 4th, I think it is.
All
And
about
we're
networking.
all about networking next week or next month, and fusion. It's just going to be such a great month.
So exciting.
Yep.
That big old business shower is coming.
Mhm.
Couple of weeks.
Yep.
Thank you for joining our show today. Please help our community grow by reaching out, inviting a person who you feel would benefit from being part of the journey. Like, subscribe. The best place to watch this live is YouTube.
Mhm.
If you're on social, it really helps expand our reach, and it goes a long, long way. And you could be helping a fellow small business owner. So if you like something you saw, please comment, and we'll see you soon.